Alright, so at this point, we'll be talking about the body. How do you write a body of a copy? After you've made sure that you've nailed your headline, how do you write a very precise, straight to the point, convincing copy? Now, the first thing you need to take note of, you remember your header. Now, remember that initially the first thing that we did is your attention. Now, since your headline has grabbed the attention of your reader, now the work of your copy, like the work of your body, like we earlier said, is to awaken an interest in them, awaken an interest in the minds of your reader for your story, or let me say for your product. Now, what do I mean? Right now, would actually be working with a copy of an old copy, yeah, a copy of Joe Sugarman, so that I can actually explain the things that actually I mean right now. So I can explain what I mean exactly. So pardon me while I load it. Okay, so the copy we'll be examining is Joe Sugarman's copy on Checkbook with a Brain. Now, obviously, you know that from what we've discussed so far, this Checkbook with a Brain, that is basically the headline. Checkbook with a Brain. Now, the sub headline, like we said, it never make another checkbook error with America's first computerized banking center in a case. Now, the first thing we have here is your bank will love you. So you see that each part of what you say, with each part, when we look through what we have here, each part of what they have is actually being started by a subtopic. Let me kind of put it like that. So it started by a soft topic, meaning that you can decide to just read a part or read a part, the ones that the part that actually really does benefit you, so that you can quickly glance through it and get it done and over with. But now we have your bank will love you. If you are like most Americans, your checkbook is a disaster area and your electronic calculator isn't helping much. Now, there is a great new space age product called the Covers Checkmaster, designed specifically to keep you in perfect balance for every check you write every day of the year, and it's actually easier to use than a calculator. Now, you see something here. Now let me go back to my slide and show you something. You see what we have there. What we have there is what the copy is actually very simple and precise. If you look at it, you would completely understand it, because it speaks in plain English, and you're not really complicating anything for the average American with a checkbook. They'll basically understand what this means. They'll be able to relate, right? So uh, your 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 body actually needs to first speak to your audience. Your body needs to speak to your audience, not speak at them. Your body needs to speak to your audience. Now look at this. Now, very quickly, he said, here is how it works. Open your checkbook holder and turn the built-in computer. Press the balance key and your bank balance is recalled on the display. The Checkmaster memory is so powerful that it never forgets your balance, even months after you last recall it. You see that? Enter the amount of your check and press the check key. The check amount is automatically deducted from your balance and your new balance is displayed, and all with just one keystroke. Or enter the amount of a deposit and press the deposit key. your deposit is automatically added to your balance, and again your new balance is displayed. Very simple. It brings you from one point. You see the transition, see how the thing transcended from one point. Okay, even months after you last recall it, enter the amount of your check and press. So it moves from one point to another, from one point to another, from one point to another. Now, there's something I like to call embodied. There's something I like to call uh, it's see a copy like a road, like a drive on a road. Now you want to take your prospect on a smooth sail, a smooth drive. You don't want it to be bumpy at all. You want it to be going from one point, entering another, from one point, entering another, from one point, entering another. Now, a way that you can do it is, first thing I highlighted now is, I said you should keep it simple, stupid, right? Because you need to speak to your audience, not speaking at them. So, which is why we highlighted at the beginning that you need to have done a research so that you can know the language that your audience is speaking in. So you can speak the language of your audience. You can speak the language of your audience. You can say those things the way your audience say them, the way they communicate within themselves. So moving on, I said it needs to flow like water. What do I mean? Your copy needs to be frictionless. It needs to be bumpless, in a sense that one part of the copy needs to lead to another. Okay, one part of the copy needs to lead to another. Now, a way that you can do it is to use transition words. Now, what are transition words? Transition words are words that lead one sentence or leads one sentence to another, leads one sentence from one part of a sentence to another. Take for example, let me say I'm talking about a football match, right, or a football result. Now I said that if I should say that Messi was kicked, or maybe Messi was hit to the point that he could no longer play the match anymore, right? And I'll say, but here is one shocking thing, or but here is another thing, or here is what surprised you. So, in that sense, even with that sentence that you've made, the next sentence, the sentence, that transition statement that I gave now is leading you from that first sentence into another sentence. You want to know what exactly is the shocking thing, or you want to know what exactly is the surprising thing. Do you get it? So one part of your sentence needs to lead to another. It does not need to, it does not have to look like you're just scattering words up and down. No, it needs to follow. It needs to look like you have put some thought into what you're about to write. You need to look like you know what you're saying, not just throwing words around. Do you get it? So now, let me come back here. So, many extra features. So he moves on to the point where he says the covers checkmaster does so much so easily, does so much so easily, and it's great fun to use. Here are several reasons why. Now this will bring me back to, you see, easily corrects mistakes if you enter the wrong digits. 2. Worry free decimal, just enter the digits. Now the next thing I actually want to talk about is bullet points. You need to make sure that whenever you're listing, you could, not necessarily, but it could help when you're listing certain things. You should put them in simple bullet points that when that even if your audience does not have so much time to read, it can come to those bullet points, read them, understand them, literally understand them, and actually be able to take action with just that little thing that you have written. Okay, so you need to be precise, You need to be accurate with your bullet points such that you don't your prospect does not need any further person to explain anything to him again, right? Now, another thing is, I think I mentioned that, but another thing is your copy relatable? Is your copy relatable? Remember that your copy is is a solution to the problem of your audience. Now, if your audience can't relate to what you're saying, that would not really be very effective, because what? The copy is meant for them, or it was written for them, not for you, right? So your copy needs to be relatable. It needs to feel like a convenient, a point of convenience your your reader, right? Now, I highlighted in the ebook course, now ebook that I'll be giving you also, I highlighted a couple of things that you could use to actually make your body smooth and easy to read. Now, one of the things I highlighted is that whenever you're writing sentences, don't write sentences, expressions that maybe like your whole this thing will be so long, your sentences will be so long that it would be almost half a page. No, from time to time be hitting the enter button so that you can put space between your work, so that the work does not look so muddled up that people don't get to read, right? Your work does not look so muddled up that the people eventually give up on reading it. So your work needs to look very spaced, that they feel like, okay, this will be an easy read, it will be a quick read, it would not stress them so much. You don't strain the eyes of your audience, right? You want them to want to be excited about reading. So the first thing, just like the headline, the first thing that we want to keep your audience reading your body is that you space your work such that they feel like, okay, this will be a very quick read, even though it is long, but then you should space it often. So you see that at most now, I usually advise that your each of your paragraphs, before you press the next enter button, each of your paragraphs should not be more than, let's say, 5 lines or 6 lines at most. Now let's count this first paragraph. One, two, three. 3 lines. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. See that? One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe that this is, now you see that the sentences are short. So each sentence is a short sentence. Open your checkbook holder and turn on the built-in computer. Full stop. Another thing, which brings me to the next point, you need short sentences, short paragraph. Short sentences, short paragraph. Copy is not really about speaking good English. It is about communicating to your audience. It's not about speaking good English. It is about communicating to your audience. The more you can communicate to your audience, the more they'll be receptive to what you have to say. All right. So after the onboarded now after this person onboarded the features of this thing, so you see, now you notice something here. He did not just say what the calculator or what the checkbook has. He said easily correct mistakes if you enter the wrong digits. Press the clear key. Press the clear key. Only your mistake will be cleared, never the balance. Very clear. It tells you what the clear key can do and the advantage of the clear key. Now, worry-free decimal, full stop. Just enter the digits. The unit dollar position decimal always keeps the decimal point where it belongs, so that you don't get confused about your digits, right? Now, low battery signal. The unit pen-light batteries will last 1 year with average use. A low battery signal on the display will indicate when it's time to replace them, so that it does not go off when you're actually needed you're actually using them, or when you needed them. So you'd have gotten like a notification before it goes off. So literally everything that your this thing is all about, you need to highlight it very shortly, very shortly, precisely. You don't need to be explaining with long expression. You can easy, very short sentences. You can explain what your product is all about with that. Now, the next part. Now, let's okay. Safety switch, blah blah. All right. So that's part of the features. But let's move down to this: rugged and shockproof. Now he's beginning to say the the he's not just saying the component feature. Now he's now saying the physical feature of, yeah, the calculator or the checkbook that will make you want to buy. He said it is rugged and it is shockproof. He said drop it, sit on it, drop it again. Checkmaster's shockproof case will withstand plenty of abuse. See that? Very short. You can imagine itself. It is not just him saying something. You can literally imagine it. Okay, I'm dropping it, I'm sitting on it, I'm dropping it again. But then it is the shockproof. It is actually withstanding a lot of. So basically, the integrated circuit. Now this is big word. Now you see how it would analyze this big word and make us know the importance of the integrated circuit. The integrated circuit is here what hermetically I don't, okay, I think this is sold. Let me zoom that. Sorry. Okay. All right. It is hermetically sealed for a lifetime of trouble-free service. A spot of gold is even used in the circuit's final sealing process to ensure checkmasters very high level of reliability. Basically, so this whole thing is still basically referring to the ruggedness and the shockproof of the checkbook. So he said it has its own gold what, a spot of gold is even used in the circuit's final sealing process, so that the gold will actually hold it properly and it would withstand enough shock. Okay, so control your purchases. Take Checkmaster with you to the supermarket. Set a dollar limit on what you intend to buy. Then enter each item you purchase. You see? So basically that is part of the advantage, but the whole idea of this is that you should be able to tell us the advantage of your product without using so many words. You should be able to tell us the advantage of your product without using so many words. It is not, your copy is more about how much you can say with very little words. It is about how much you can say with very little words, not how the 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 little thing you can say with plenty words. You don't need to be emphasizing on, oh, it is amazing. It is amazing because, no, don't do that. Be precise. As you're picking your point, be breaking it down. Stop, I mean, break it down like you're actually talking to a primary school child. Because if a kid does not understand you, your copy is not clear enough, right? So you want to keep it stupid simple. Now look at this. Here is where the guarantee comes in. The checkmaster will make such an improvement, blah 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 blah. Okay, that is not the guarantee. Okay, so you see now here we have something related to how to order. So at the end of the day, when he had finished saying everything about it, he did not leave his clients to wonder how they would actually get the product. He goes on to say it, and then he goes on to even say the price. Okay, or you may okay, our credit card buyers may order by calling our national toll free number or any of the local number listed below, or you may send your check or money order for $42.45 per unit, $39.95 plus $2.5 postage. insurance and handling. Illinois residents add 6% tax, sales tax to the address shown below, but act quickly. Now, did you see that? Now, even as he said how you could order, that is your call to order. This is his call to order. He adds again the what is this? The urgency. But act quickly. See for yourself how easy it is to keep your checkbook in perfect balance every day of the year. Whether a checkmaster at no obligation today. You see that? So he onboards everything so easily that one part leads to another, to another, to another. Now what you want to do with a copy is you need to say just enough to make now okay, let's imagine now that you have somebody in front of you and you're giving a phone. Now sell this phone to this person. You know that what you need to say is you need to say just enough to give the person enough information to actually go on with the purchase of the phone, to actually decide that okay, he might actually want that particular phone. All right, so basically those are the few things about writing body of copy that I'll be talking about. Now the rest of the things, now I'll be sending to I'll be adding in the material section so that excuse me, so that you can actually go to it and add and take it personally. All right, so you can go through them personally.